You've quit before, maybe once, maybe 100 times. You started the plan, started the workout, the diet, the book, the business, the journey, and then you stopped. You told yourself the usual excuses. I'm too busy. I lost motivation. It just wasn't the right time. But deep down, you know the truth. You didn't stop because it was too hard. You stopped because it stopped feeling good. And your plan was built on feeling good. That's the problem, and that's what we're going to fix today. Let's get one thing clear. Motivation is a liar. It's short-term energy that dies the moment resistance shows up. Motivation says, go hard today, but discipline says, show up anyway. That's the difference between starters and finishers. The Stoics didn't chase motivation. They chased mastery. They built lives on reason, not hype. Marcus Aurelius didn't wake up feeling like an emperor. He woke up exhausted, annoyed, and unmotivated. But he wrote to himself in Meditations. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being. He wasn't waiting for a mood. He was rising with purpose. You want to know why you keep quitting? Because you're still relying on dopamine-driven motivation, that chemical rush that happens when the goal feels close. But as soon as that goal feels far, when the reward is invisible, when the grind gets boring, your dopamine drops, and your brain says, why keep going? So you quit. You don't lack desire. You lack a system. You lack an identity that holds when motivation fades. Let me introduce you to the concept that changes everything. Identity-based habits. This is what most people miss. They chase goals, they chase milestones, they chase outcomes. But goals don't change who you are. Habits do. When you brush your teeth, you don't say, I'm motivated. You say, that's what I do. It's not about feeling like it. It's about becoming someone who does it, no matter what. Every action you take is a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. Every time you skip the gym, it's a vote. Every time you hit snooze, it's a vote. Every time you show up tired but still do the work, that's a vote too. And the good news? You don't need to be perfect. You just need to outvote your old self enough times to tip the balance. So let's break it down. Here are 3 tools to rebuild your identity, rewire your habits, and stop quitting for good. Tool 1, minimum daily standard. Forget the big goal for a second. Let's talk about what you can do daily no matter how you feel. Not 100 push-ups, 10. Not an hour of writing, 5 minutes. Not a perfect meal plan, just one clean choice today. The goal is not performance. The goal is proof. Daily proof that you are becoming the type of person who follows through, and that proof adds up. Discipline isn't built in extreme moments. It's built in quiet ones, when no one's watching, when the reward isn't obvious, when you say yes to the habit anyway. That's the win. Start so small it's impossible to fail. Then stack it, then scale it. The Stoics trained for adversity by practicing it on purpose. Cold showers, fasting, going without comfort. Why? Because they didn't want life to catch them off guard. They didn't want their emotions to control their behavior. Every time you do something uncomfortable on purpose, you're proving to yourself, I can handle discomfort. I don't need conditions to be perfect. And that's power. Try this. Next time you don't feel like doing the hard thing, do it anyway. Even if it's a cold shower for 30 seconds. Even if it's writing for 2 minutes. The point is training your nervous system, not for pleasure, but for resilience. Pain becomes practice. Practice becomes proof. And proof builds identity. What did I do that aligned with who I want to be? Where did I slip? What will I do differently tomorrow? This isn't about guilt. It's about clarity. It's about tracking your identity in motion. Seneca journaled every night, and now modern psychology backs it up. Reflection increases emotional regulation, decision-making, and resilience. You don't grow what you don't measure, and you can't become what you don't examine. Now, let's talk about the moment you want to quit. That moment will come. Again and again. It's not failure, it's the invitation to become. You'll hear the voice that says, "Just skip today, you deserve rest. No one will know." That voice is the comfort-seeking self, the self you've outgrown, the one who fears effort not because it's painful, but because it forces change. And in that moment, you don't need motivation, you need memory. You need to remember why you started, who you said you would become, and what kind of life you're done settling for. So ask yourself, who am I without discipline? Where does that version of me lead? Am I okay going back there? If the answer is no, show up, even small, even weak, even tired, because every time you show up without the feeling, you prove that you're stronger than your excuses. And that's when your identity changes, not because someone told you who you are, but because you became someone different through action. Remember, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems, and you build those systems, one decision at a time. Stop trying to become perfect. Start trying to become reliable, not a hero, just consistent, relentless, steady, like the Stoics, like the identity you're building. So let's lock it in. Minimum standards. Show up even on bad days. Voluntary discomfort. Train for the storm before it comes. Daily journaling. Reflect, reset, and recommit. These are not hacks. They are not shortcuts. They are not trendy. They are ancient. They are tested, and they work. You want to stop quitting? Then stop trying to feel ready and start trying to become ready. Through discipline, through friction, through steady daily proof that the old you is gone. That's how Stoics lived. That's how the strong endure. And that's how you'll win. Like this video if you're done waiting for motivation. Comment, "I finish what I start." Subscribe for weekly Stoic mindset and psychology that rewires your habits from the inside out. And remember, this isn't about hype, it's about becoming. Let's build.